The government has decided to relax the visa policy for bilateral trade with neighboring Afghanistan and hope that the decision will improve economies of the two countries. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has directed the authorities concerned to issue 6-month multiple entry visas to transporters from Afghanistan and also approved all proposals put forward by the Afghan Inter-Ministerial Coordination Cell. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Hina Rabbani Kar has dispelled the impression given by the opposition that Pakistan was in isolation, saying that the country's foreign policy was moving in the right direction with all diplomatic missions working complicatedly on all fronts. With respect to BRICS, she said there was absolutely no denying of the fact that China was the most effective strategic partner of Pakistan. The Election Commission of Pakistan has ordered an inquiry into the violence-marred local government elections in Sindh and decided to hold a meeting in Lahore with Punjab government, rangers and army officials to finalize a security plan for the upcoming by-polls in 20 Punjab Assembly constituencies. An hours-long protest against K Electric for carrying out unannounced and prolonged power load shedding ended Tuesday evening after Karachi police met with officials from the power utility and assured protesters that their grievances would be addressed. Earlier in the day, Karachi police had used tear gas and baton charged protesting residents of Liadi near the Maripur Road. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan says that the country's economy will be stabilized by bringing half of the nation's wealth looted by his rivals, the Sharifs and Zardaris. The former prime minister slammed the coalition government for failing to handle the economy, claiming that they only ousted his government to receive relief in corruption cases, as he condemned the authorities for quelling street protests over inflation and load shedding. The rupee further recovered against the US dollar, gaining 1 rupee 7 paisa in interbank market following Finance Minister Miftah Ismail's announcement that the government has received a memorandum of economic and financial policies from the International Monetary Fund for the 7th and 8th reviews of the extended fund facility. The greenback was trading at 206 rupees and 87 paisas against the local currency. The price of gold receded by 350 rupees to sell at 141,500 rupees per tola in the local bullion market. The price declined by 301 rupees of 10 grams to settle at 121,313 rupees. Meanwhile, in the international market, the precious metal lost $10 per ounce to settle at $1,823. Pakistan's current account deficit rose to $1.4 billion in May 2022 compared to $640 million recorded in the same period of previous year. Data issued by State Bank of Pakistan shows that current account deficit stood at $618 million in April 2022, which means that the deficit for May 2022 is 131% higher on a monthly basis. The central bank says that while overall imports in May fell compared to April, a decline in remittances and exports on account of Eid holidays contributed to this rise. The Federal Board of Revenue collected 6 trillion rupees in taxes in the outgoing fiscal year, recording a growth of 29% on a year-on-year basis and exceeding its earlier projection of 5.8 trillion rupees. The board raised over 2,200 billion rupees in income tax and more than 2,700 billion rupees in sales tax. The numbers would likely increase by some billion rupees when revenue collection from book adjustments is cleared in the next 2 days. French President Emmanuel Macron says that he has been told by the United Arab Emirates President Mohammed bin Zayed that his country and Saudi Arabia can barely increase oil production. The two OPEC countries are being perceived to have the capacity to boost global deliveries that could reduce prices. Global oil prices have been rising in the recent months due to a shortage of supply and rebound in demand from the worst of the coronavirus epidemic. Prices have risen further since Moscow invaded Ukraine in late February. United States President Joe Biden will meet Turkish President Erdogan at this week's NATO Summit in Madrid, where the alliance will discuss the fallout of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A White House statement says that the leaders at the Madrid summit will also take historic decisions to strengthen the alliance's collective defense and security. Russia has denied hitting a shopping mall in a Ukrainian city with missiles, saying that it had struck a nearby depot of United States and European arms, triggering an explosion which ignited a fire in the mall. Ukraine said at least 18 people were killed on Monday by an intentional Russian strike against the shopping center, with President Zelensky adding that more than 1,000 people were inside the mall at the time of the attack. Iran, which holds the world's second largest gas reserves, has applied to join the BRICS group of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa that Beijing and Moscow cast as a powerful emerging market alternative to the West. Tehran's foreign ministry spokesperson says that Iranian membership in BRICS would result in added values for both sides. Meanwhile, Russia says that Argentina has also applied to join. After attending the G7 summit in Germany, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in the United Arab Emirates on Tuesday, just weeks after BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma's remarks about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, set off anger in the Muslim world, including the Gulf. The two countries enjoyed strong trade and cultural ties, with Indians making up about 35% of UAE's 10 million population. The trade between the countries is valued at $59 billion, with UAE being India's largest export destination.